right, there we go. All right, everybody. Technology is what it is, and it won't be anymore. Good morning, guys. Glad to be here this weekend with you guys. Let's go ahead and get this show on the road here. Get this recording started here to the cloud. All right. So today today's gonna be a real good day, guys. We had a real good call last night with the owners, and a lot of big things are going to be happening. And today's call is not going to be as long as it normally is because we do have an 11 o'clock call Central Standard Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time with the company, with corporate. So I want to make sure that we give everybody enough time to get ready for that call as well because those announcements are going to be huge, and I want to make sure you guys don't miss it. I want to make sure you guys also have an opportunity to invite. Make sure you're like as far as I say invite, I'm talking about your teams. Make sure your team members get it because this is going to be a call that's going to put some people back on the map, get some people excited again. And I'll go over a couple of things why. But let's see, make sure I get my co-host. There we go. And Carla. Wait. Okay. So this morning, guys, we're going to be going over. First thing I want to do is I always want to go over the reflections this morning. Last week was a big week for us. I know we had a millionaire mindset call that a lot of people had some breakthroughs on. But last Saturday's training that's when it came to the Builders Boot Camp. That call was fire. It was a big call, and I got a lot of people who got a lot of good feedback from that call. A lot of breakthroughs, a lot of eye-opening moments, and a lot of those moments actually came from when you guys were communicating and bringing the topics to the surface. And so, talking about your fleet, your reflections, and everything else. So, uh, you guys did an amazing job. Make sure you guys give yourselves a round of applause. Give yourselves again kudos for that because you have now people talking so much about the call that they're going to be chopping that call up and using bits and pieces of it to market as far as sending. They're going to be sending it back out to the builders as well. So you guys are going to be getting that call for those of you who are builders for the company and those people who are in your groups who are coming on as builders. They're going to have access to that call as well. So that's a pretty cool thing. So that way, they have access to what you guys had access to. Also, Omi and I'm going to be looking at going back over and going over some of those, the last moments in the last hour, the final hour where you guys gave feedback, and we'll look at some of those moments and see what we can cut up and use as far as good feedback, as far as little reels or anything that we may be able to use to help you guys get more visibility and market yourself as well. So, if you were communicating and you seen your part, you feel like your part was powerful, let us know, and we'll see if we can rip it out of there for you. All right. Now, what I want to do now is I want to go over your reflections, your wins for the week, and make sure that each and every last one of you guys get a chance to, in the beginning moments, get a chance to talk about, what impacted you the most last week. And we'll start with Carla.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Bean. In addition to the Millionaire Mindset call with the breakdown, I want to also give kudos to Idris for starting the year off with us with the real estate reflections, right? Because he really broke down how we can talk to real estate brokers, real estate professionals dealing with using some of the slides that we already have and tailoring them to the real estate market as well as just making us more comfortable. And in addition, I want to also reflect on having the bounty of once again practicing with Mrs. Johnson and the two Mrs. Johnsons, Mrs. Leslie Johnson and Mrs. Laura Johnson, leading us in practicing the presentation last night. So I feel like I'm getting a little bit better. In fact, my husband was even ear hustling the presentation, and he also share with me my improvements. So, in terms of not sounding like I'm reading, but sounding like I'm talking, and how
Mm.
we did last night as a group. So I just wanted to say thank you very much for the platform, and thank the Pachecos and the Vangels and the Navarros for bringing us this company. So thank you so much for allowing me to share.
Yes, ma'am. And so, and before I go to the next person, what about the Millionaire Mentorship Call? Give me a nugget or two that you got from a nugget that you got from the Millionaire Mentorship Call, or how did it hit you?
Okay, so for me, in terms of being equipped, and the levels of leadership, and becoming equipped to be able to share the message that we're sharing in terms of doing it into yourself, doing it, and you're with me doing it. You do it, and I'm with you to provide for the teacher student relationship, and then you do it, and then you do it with another person. So that is, as far as the show, shadow, and duplicate process, how the student becomes a teacher and the teacher becomes the mentor. So I really appreciated that. Thank you so much.
No problem, no problem. Now we have, oh, by the way, uh, since you started off, I know we're still working on that location in Maryland, and for February 8th, and that's going to be a real big day, guys. And so right now, for those of you who are in the markets, real quick here, um, you want to make sure one that if we're coming to your market, you don't play with imaginary numbers. And when I say imaginary numbers, you don't want to be the person that's in a market. And I'm talking to everybody and on the call, period. But you don't want to be the person in the market that says, you know what? Um, yeah, the company's doing this event, they're putting this event on for us, and um, you know, everybody else on the invite, to get the room full. So I don't have to actually invite. I don't have to prospect and put people in the room. Well, more times than not, what's going to end up happening is everybody's going to have that thought process, and everybody in that audience when they show up and they see an empty room or a light room, they're going to look at that room and be like, "Wow." It's just us, and you don't want that to happen. And because you'll realize that real fast that everybody had the same mindset, everybody had the same mind frame. And so we want to make sure we put our hard hat on and go to work. When we in those markets, we'll make sure that you make yourself responsible for the number of people that's in that market in two ways. One, you want to go out there and you want to shoot for the market number yourself, even if you believe it's impossible. Shoot for a bigger number and have more of a work ethic and more of a plan. Two, make sure you are in the market, talking to people in the market. When I'm talking about the people who are actually in the business in the market, making sure that you remind them what is about to happen. Because what happens is this: when you have the owners who are saying, "Hey, look, let's go ahead and let's do a market event here," and nobody shows up, that means they lost money, which means that that market is not ready, which means that they don't invest in that market anymore. Uh, Flip it around also, when you actually have a market number where you go over and beyond the Call of Duty, and you have numbers that are just ridiculous, then you have multiple events, then they start to frequent your market, as well as look at your market as a place that may have one of the next conventions or leadership boot camps, or something, anything. Let's say what's the mentor factories and stuff like that. So you want to make sure that you hit your numbers, put your numbers up there real big, and let the company explode your organizations. But more importantly, let the company explode your markets. And so let's make sure we are doing more presentations than we ever have. One-on-ones, two-on-twos, getting more exposures than we ever have as we're working in these markets, getting ready for any type of events. So I know we have Denver. It's on the map. Denver is January 25th, and then we have Maryland. We're getting some things together for Maryland February 8th. So I want to make sure you guys hit those numbers. So if you're in the other markets, let's work on getting numbers up. Let's work on getting some allies in those markets, and giving a vision in the market, letting people know, hey, look, we need to get to that. We need to get the brass out here. We need to get this market exposed. because they're going to get a lot bigger, a lot faster. What you're going to find out is that there's a lot of cities that are about to pop up that once they pop up, okay, and they start to hop in line and they start to get the recognition, they start to get the trips, then when that happens, now the less time they have for your market, the less visibility your market will have, less focus your market will have, and then you'll be targeted to the party, and that's not going to be good because now um, the priority is not as big as it would have been in the beginning. In the beginning, always launch a market. Just always go ahead and just put as much muscle into your business as possible. So as it's growing, you start to be one of those markets where they say, okay, we want to make sure that market never goes anywhere. We want to make sure we actually support that market. We infuse, marketing dollars, whatever we need to do into that market, support bonus money, whatever into that market. Let's feed that market. Okay. Because the hardest thing to replace is a market. As an individual, as a group, the hardest thing to replace is your strongest leg, your biggest leg, your runaway leg. But for a company, the hardest thing to replace is a market. So you want to know that part and be the reason why the company says, you know what, we own that region. We have leaders, builders, presenters, trainers, a sales force. We have a huge market over here that we need to throw gasoline on. Yeah, we want to make sure we keep this market around forever. Okay, so, but I appreciate you, caller. Thank you for your feedback, and let's make sure, guys. Carla, have you been utilizing the Grant Cardone calls as well? If you're talking, you're on mute. There we go. Let's see here. You didn't come off yet. There we go. There we go.
Yes, I have been using Grant Cardone.
All right.
Definitely.
So, real quick word for those who are new, who doesn't know about Grant Cardone. Again, what would you say, is the thing that you like about Grant Cardone the most for those those who don't actually use the Grant Cardone trainings?
The biggest thing that I really, really appreciate about Grant Cardone is the coaching, the daily coaching, um, the different ways in which each of the presenters helps us to pull out the best ways to respond to questions, the best ways to make sure that we get an appointment. Once we get the appointment, the way to solidify the appointment to make sure that we ask questions such as, so why are you giving me this time? To make sure that so that's like one of the things with and just the various ways in which each of the individuals do coach the masses that are participating on the call in general. So, and
Gotcha.
it's really, really useful. If you haven't already started using Grant Cardone, embrace it.
Mhm.
Embrace it because that coaching, I've seen individuals who are on this call who have been involved with Grant Cardone since 2020. I think we started with that, Mr. Bean.
Mhm.
Grow and evolve. Like I've watched Angel, I've watched Dale Boudreaux, Dr. Arlene, Miss Laura Johnson,
Mhm.
myself, even, Marva, different people who have participated with the Grant Cardone when we were live,
Mhm.
have evolved. And so, even though it's not live anymore, the lessons are still valuable. And I'm so thankful and happy and grateful that you are still affording us the opportunity to have those recorded sessions so that we can practice our skills and to not get so rusty. So thank you so much for allowing me to share about the GCU.
No problem. And like I said, that was a GCU plug, guys, and that's a plug because it's free. I could see if it was something I was selling, and I'm saying, hey, look, guys, get on this program. It's only $99 a month. I'm saying, get on this program and you can make yourself $1 million. That's what I'm saying. This is there. It's free. You're already paying for it by being active. Remember that, and that's another thing. Again, when you get the person started, that Builders VIP Lounge, there's a lot of value in that Builders VIP Lounge. And so I want to make sure that we are on top of that. So appreciate that. All right. Let's see here. Philip.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Bean. How's everybody doing? So yeah, I won't better stay long because I'm actually at doing some yard work here. at my church. But yeah, I wanted to get my reflection this week. I actually enjoyed, um, how this new year is starting off. Did my three-way with Mr. Bean, second three-way, and all went well. And it was just wonderful for me to just be on that three-way and see um, how effective it can be. And yeah, it was very good. And I have Onyeka on the line now. I invited him to Solo Saturday, so just look forward to that. And then also every day, I didn't used to do this, but the realtors I call 6 to 12 realtors every day. Basically, I send them a text message. I got a system now how I do it. Send a text message first, send them the realtor video, and then maybe an hour or two later, I give them a call, even if whether they pick up or not. I leave them a voice message. If they pick up, then I got a script I use, and at the end, and I just say, hey, and when can you give me 15 minutes of your time so I can go over our company showcase of the services we can offer to your homeowners through you, and that seems to be working. And I got an appointment Monday with first time realtor. Another realtor sent me a text message said, when do you have your next company showcase? I said Tuesday. I was like, but I can do the presentation myself and show if you want to. We can do it now. Just using Grant Cardone, we can do it now. It's like, no, I'll wait till Tuesday, but thank you for the information. And so I'm just enjoying the journey of how it's going this year. I'm starting off.
Hey, now Lime, I appreciate you, and that three-way was fire, and I really enjoyed talking to Anyaka as well. And the two, when it comes to those slides, I like the fact that you're taking ownership of your business, right? And and this is where you actually get better at it. So now when you look at asking a person, you know if they have time to do it now, that's always a good thing based on the length of the presentation and conversation. Always a good thing based on the fact that you're taking against it. This is my business. I'm taking ownership of it. I'm going to do the presentation. You don't have to wait for the showcase. But just add one thing. So if not now, and if they are not coming back and saying, "Well, I'll just wait for the showcase," when you actually, like, say, today is Friday, Saturday. Today's Saturday. Showcase is not till Tuesday. What you want to do is, say, okay, well, if not wait until Tuesday, let's do this. Look on your schedule of the next 2 days. I have today and Monday. I have later today, or I have Monday. Which one would be better for you at a time that fits us both? So that way they don't have to wait till Tuesday. And you're shooting for a time. You're giving them today, which is Saturday, and you're giving them Monday is another day, which most people use for their admin days, and catch-up days. So if you want a presentation or a conversation or a meeting or something, a lot of times Monday is going to be a good day for a lot of people. But yeah, just to get the two options, and then if they say, well, I'm still good for Tuesday, the next showcase day, that's fine. All right, well, great. And then you just make sure that they got all the information to be there. Make sure they confirm and make sure they show up with a follow-up on Monday. So, but great job and keep up the great work. All right.
Thank you.
Yes, let's see here. Jeremy Dennis.
How you doing, sir?
Fantastic, fantastic.
Want to say thank you again for this opportunity to get on here, and thanks again for putting this platform together. You and Mrs. Bean, appreciate you guys. My week always starts today with these calls. So, it's always powerful getting on these calls and getting all the nuggets and everything that you throw at us. Monday Millionaire Mindset, just keeping us all together. And I forgot the saying that you said, but I wrote it down somewhere about the season and not the treason, all the nuggets you come out with those things. But my week's been very productive. Been calling a bunch of people. Actually, while I was on this call, I was getting salt for we're in a big snowstorm, and kind of using Grant Cardone on Monday with Chris Hart. Using his lines that he's told me. I was talking to the people that own the business and started talking about solar. And right after this storm, they're going to get me their utility bills so I can start setting stuff up for solar. Next Monday, I got a solar deal set up for Crystal City School. I got to get their electric bills. They're going to set it up. I got a meeting on Tuesday to set up a commercial deal with 3 Dairy Queens. I got another commercial deal. We're getting ready for another restaurant. I got to meet with him next week, and we're going to get his electric bills. Um, I'm doing the final stages with the city of Arnold. We went through the administrator. He's a go with it. Now we're meeting with the city of council. And like I said, I followed up with the 5 plant ambulance districts.
Mm.
I think we're on a go with them. And like I said, I just got another one. So I'm excited about 2025.
Yeah.
These deals are all $1 million deals. So
Mm. Yeah. Well, it's a lot of money in commercial, and like I said, but other things is there's a lot of money in personal development and in training and
oh yeah,
practice,
oh yeah,
repetitions. You know what I mean? Like I said, when you look at um, the way you communicate with people, like I said, you just do it. You don't think about it. You just communicate with people. Like I said, that's why I tell you guys when it comes to something as simple as the form technique. Where you're meeting people, connecting with people, having conversation with people. That's what opens doors. And say closed mouths are like closed doors. People can't walk through them to help you out. People can't walk through them to do business with you if you don't open it up, right? And so, uh, being out there, being on purpose, one is important, but learning what to say. He's always on the calls, always on the trainings. He's always evolving, and that's why he's courageous. Remember, it's when you look at what was that word brave, and so brave is what you do in the midst of fear. Like what it's like people who are successful, they still communicate with people in fear. They still have butterflies. They still have a fear of speaking, just may not be at the same level, right? But they go through it so they can get to it, and so that's important. And so his numbers, and it's like I said, it's just like he's not just saying, okay, I'm doing one business a day. He literally is doing. He's literally talking to as many businesses as he can every day. Okay? He's talking to as many people as he can every day, knocking on as many doors as he can on Sundays. And so that's the thing is it's those numbers. You build up your courage in numbers. You build up your efficiency and effectiveness in numbers, right? You build up your fortune, in numbers. So those numbers, man, keep the numbers on your side. But like I said, keep on reflecting and evolving every chance you get. Every call you're on, learn something, take something from it, and start looking. To get to that point, guys, where you can't wait to learn something new about your business. You can't wait to get excited about something. When you pop up, you're in a movie and they said something that you can use in a presentation, or they said something that you can use, in a conversation. Be excited because what happens is you start to attract that type of information. You ever notice when you start working on a project, it could be a school project, it could be a work project or whatever, it could be a life project. And now all of a sudden you start Googling stuff or you start watching stuff. Next thing you know, ideas start popping up and it's just now it's just in your filter. It's like you're attracting it. Okay. When you do it enough to where you love doing it, that's when everything starts to happen for you. Like right now, AI is when it comes to just the AI on WhatsApp, that's how advanced I am. I'm using the AI on WhatsApp, so I'm still typing in my questions, and just to see, it's kind of like when y'all shop on Amazon and there's something new, y'all type it in just to see if Amazon got it. Oh man, Amazon got it. I want to see if AI got an answer for it. So when I ask for it, I'm looking for that answer. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, let me go ahead and repurpose this. Let me go ahead and use this. Let me go ahead and it's exciting because now you have the best of information at the tip of your fingers. And so for me, and so now you have the best of information when it comes to watching Idris, do, his trainings. Best of information watching Angel do her trainings, right? The best of information when you got all these trainings and presentations happening for you as this is evolved information and it's continuing to evolve in front of you. And the thing about the information is that the information is evolving because the speaker is. Think about it. You don't see the same person doing the same presentation over and over and over again. It never changes unless they're an amateur or a rookie, right? And so over time, that presentation has to evolve. If not, it means that you're not on purpose. That means that you're not looking for the information. You're not looking to better the information. You're not looking to better you. So keep on getting yourself in a position where you're looking for information to make you and your conversations more attractive, more appealing. right? More magnetic, right? More compelling. And when you open your mouth, people looking at you like you walk on water. Like this, she's Dr. Orlean's on top of her stuff. Wow, Sabrina's just killing it. Like, man, man, she wrapped her mind around this whole entire solar thing. I know she was in real estate at first, but man, now Sabrina knows all this stuff about solar. Well, Laura knows all this stuff about water now. And so that's the thing. You just blow a person away, give them, the Kyrie Jenner experience, right? The Jared Bass experience. So you want to make sure a person, when they hear you, they hear an expert. They hear somebody that's passionate about it first, somebody who believes in it first. And the more passion that you bring to the table, the more belief you instill in yourself, the more you'll evolve. It has to happen that way, right? It has to happen that way. I forgot more about coffee than more people will ever know, based on how much I literally consume when it comes to information. And so that's how you want to be. Where when a person's looking at you from another solar company, they're looking at you because now they want to steal you. They want to figure out how they can recruit you, from here. That'll let you know when people start calling you. It's not just the likes. When people start calling you, inboxing you, trying to get you to leave. You want to be a blue chip free agent or a blue chip agent. Period. So, but I appreciate you. Keep on doing what you're doing, and thanks for the support, Dennis, when it comes to helping other people with their solar deals. All
No,
right,
not
yes, sir. Let's see here, Dr. Arlene George.
Good morning, sir. I can't contain myself on Saturday mornings because I'm excited about always being on here and learning and learning and learning. My this week I had a lot of good wins. One is that I actually got a plan together and executed a plan on a launch for a member or a builder on January 8th. And I'm doing that presentation. I didn't tap you into that one because you want me to step up and be that leader. And I want to use that call to edify you and elevate you to the point where everyone on that call can't wait to meet Mr. Bean and learn from the book of Bean. That's one. Two, and that plan was 200 emails, and I'm following that plan up with 200 calls, personal invites into that launch meeting, not just for that individual, but for me as a leader. Okay. Secondly, working with Mrs. Bean on planning this event has been a blessing. First and foremost, she has taken Sarah under her wings. So praise the Lord, I don't have to be the mother mentor right now. And taking Sarah under her wings. And Sarah has been the front person, although I went alongside her, to go to the house to talk about build, to talk about GeoSolar consultants. And she's been using the information that Mrs. Bean has been teaching us to talk about the space and how she wants the space set up, what the requirements are to negotiate, just to have someone like Mrs. Bean mentor my 23-year-old daughter, to give her skills that it takes people years to develop. As you can see, I'm getting emotional about it. That is such a blessing to me as a mother, because I know that I have a woman who is a woman of integrity. I know that I have a woman who is a passionate mother. I know that I have a woman who has a healthy marriage, who has a healthy ego, who has a heart for other women in Mrs. Bean, mentoring my daughter. And I have so much more I can share right now, but that fills my heart as a mother with that the next generation of women as well as men, I'm waiting for Daniel to plug into you, have that leadership outside of their parent who sometimes can be that voice in the wilderness. So I just want to thank you and Mrs. Bean.
And well, first of all, you on behalf of Mrs. Bean, you're welcome. And by the way, she loves Sarah. And so trust me, she's always will. And so but it's one of those things where you look at, this industry, we have so many. I have young adults that call me and that have listened to me since they were kids. Like literally, because we always tell people, have an environment that you can invite your kids to. Have an environment that your kids can listen in on the calls and then listen in on the trainings, and your young teenagers, your young adults, whatever. And let this information fall on them. Let them just let them hit it. Let it hit them. And I have people who, I still stay in touch with or stay in touch with me at the same time, who talk about some of the calls that they came to or came on, or some of the events that they came to, and as a youth or as a young teen, and it's amazing how they're catching the information, and it's not being pushed on them, but they're catching it, and they're growing from it, and it's impacting them. And so that's what your environment should do. Remember, we're all role models at some point, whether we want to be or not. Yeah, I love Charles Barkley, but at some point in time, whether we want to be a role model or not, we are. But that's the thing, is like, you have, especially when you have, um, sons and daughters who are building and who want to build it. Like, they open, and you basically, they're ready to be coached and mentored. They're ready to receive, and just, she has nothing but humility, great energy, very, very, she's a very likable person, somebody that people just want to be around and want to help anyway. So it makes it easier for her. And when it comes to my wife and working with Sarah. So, but yeah, that's the thing. Working with people, you'll have influencers who say, you know what, um, you're going to give me that. You're going to give me that for free. And you're going to give me that for free because, my name is on it, and I'm going to help you sell a whole lot when I market it, or and that, or you're going to do this job for me, and you'll work for me, and I'm going to pay you less, because you get to hang around me, and you get a chance to watch me work. You get a chance to see me, implement my systems in place. You get a chance to see me, with my coaching and how I run my operations. So you're going to learn an education, just by being an associate, like that proximity association. All that is going to make you more valuable. So it's going to make the offer of you being able to work with me, it's almost like a paid mentorship situation. And so you have people who negotiate like that, right? And so uh, this is an environment where you should see it the same exact way, because again, for the people who have been in this industry the most, and for a person who hadn't been in this industry at all, for somebody who's made millions of dollars, and you can work directly with those individuals, in the field, in the trenches, doing calls and trainings, and you don't take advantage of that, it means that you really and truly don't have the understanding of who you're doing business with, and what that person can do for you, right? What you can actually learn, when it comes to what you do for a living. That the gap is just shortened and eliminated when it comes to your learning curve, your growth curve. Like, you'll see people on the outside that, and they're looking at you like, man, she makes it look so easy, and she came in here and blew this thing up, or he came in here and blew this thing up. Well, the thing about it is that, you don't come to trainings, or you don't plug into the leaders, or you don't have a mentor, you don't have a coach that you talk to every day based on the activity that you do every day. So that's why you're standing still. And that person is the exact opposite. They're plugged into the energy. They're plugged into, the individual who has that roadmap and who's walking them through it, and sometimes running them through it, because they're game, right? They want to move faster than the company grows. And so that's why, again, those people take off. It's that access, it's that proximity. And so, my wife has a boatload of knowledge about a lot of different things. And, again, it's no different than working with me, or no different than working with Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, or any of the other mentors that are out there in the world, who have amassed information over the years. And so that's the thing when it comes to mentorship, that people don't get. There's value in proximity, access, having an information. You can get to your goals one day, or no days, right? Or you can make sure that you get there one day by, you know, plugging in somebody who for a fact is going to be there and run through it. They've done it before. So um, now the lunch call, going back to the lunch call here, I can't wait to hear how that go. But I'm excited that you're actually doing it. Excited that you're getting those repetitions in, because this is the thing. Coming to your market in February the 8th, when we leave that market, there's got to be somebody in that market doing presentations, right? There's got to be somebody in that market that's doing one-on-ones, two-on-twos, house meetings, boardroom meetings, and that's the thing that keeps the market going. If nobody's doing presentations in that market, when before I get there, and then after I get there, it's only going to grow one time, right? Like we talked about on Monday night. if the market only grows when I go there, or when JC goes there, or when Winston goes there, or when one of the presenters go there from another market, if the market only grows when the leader goes there, that means that there are no leaders in that market. And if the market, nobody comes into the business unless we are doing the presentations, that means there's no leaders in that group, right? And so you want to be the person, that is evolving, growing, leading the charge. It's just like the same thing. Like I know Idris can't do every, he can't do every meeting for everybody, you know, and so you have that he has to now develop people within his group to take some stuff off of him, like, hey man, look, I got a deal over here, I can't do this deal, I got a deal over here, I can't do this deal. But he's just not going to give it to anybody, you know and he wants to give it to somebody in house as well. Like he wants to give it to somebody on his team first, which he should want to do that. Okay? But if he don't have anybody qualified on his team to do it, then he has to outsource, right? Then he has to send money away, right? And so that's not a good thing. Or he has to overload himself. So you want to make sure, guys, that you are the individual who is the reason, like Jay Remy said, the reason for the season, right? You're the one not the reason for the treason, the reason for the season. You're the ones that's going out there putting the company on your back, your company on your back, and letting them see you do the work. Let them see you do the events. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Angel was next.
Hi, Mr. Bean. Hi, everyone. First of all, thank you so much, Mr. Bean, for everything you and Mrs. Bean put together and pour into us all the time, especially from my team members. They get coaching from you and Mrs. Bean, so they get to double dip and become value. And I spoke with one of my team members a little while back about value, and you've poured so much into me, and it's great to see the value that you have been able to pour into Julie as well, because now she's like, everybody wants a piece of me, everybody wants me to do this. And I said, that's great, because everything that you've learned from Mr. Bean is not just in this business. When he pours into you, now you become that value for everybody, right? And so everybody now sees who the new you, and they love it, because she said, one of her team members said, you're a beast, and she was like, no, I don't think, she was like, no, I don't think so. She's like, no, you are a beast, and so I have to thank you, Mr. Bean, for pouring into to everyone, and you and favor isn't fair. And so when we do the work, we get more poured into us. And so first, I want to say thank you for that. And when you're talking about the GCU, I know a lot of people are new and they don't understand the Grant Cardone University, as some of us that have been there since 2021 when you launched it. And, the thing that I love about the GCU is that it's very simple. It's very simple, and it's for the masses. It's not for it's not for the professionals. It's for everyone, right? The type of system that they put together is for the 80% of people, right? And so they use very simple terms, and they use word pictures to where you can, see and project to your clients, and they can see as well, right? And that's what I love about how simple that system is, to not only learn, but also to teach and to duplicate as well. So so that's why I was able to see, and I wish you would bring it back, but I like the modules because I know when I was my team, Esther Louvies of the world. I mean, she was like, I'm going to tell you, this is an example of what the GCU program did for her. She went from not being able to pick up the phone or even talk to or even approach people. She's like, she's 75. And she was like going out and just so confident in what she was doing, so confident in what she was saying for the first time, and that was from the GCU program. So I
Yep.
don't want to take too much time. So I wanted to talk about my wins because I had some great wins this week. So
Let's
first of
go.
all, the great win is being on that millionaire mindset call because I win every time I get off of that. I always learn and I always have something to implement, like the PS3 that you gave
Mhm.
us, right? So it's always created wins if I'm on that millionaire. And if you're not making a millionaire, you definitely need to be on that call, right?
Mhm.
And a lot of people miss out on that because if you're not making a million, why are you not on this call that you're able to get? How many millionaires, how many Jeff Bezos are knocking on your door and saying, hey, I got a call that I can help you,
Mhm.
right? And they're not on it. And then my other one I was telling Mrs. Bean is I got my override for a shower head, okay, $3.36 on New Year's Eve. And most people are gonna say $3. Why are you so happy? I was jumping up and down because I'm gonna say I didn't know who I mean it says who bought the shower head, but I didn't know they were gonna buy a shower head. And I'm
Mhm.
getting paid like a Walmart for something that I didn't do. So that was great because that brought in money. And guess what? After that, Friday comes, payday, and I got my residuals. So this
There
week
you
is
go.
a win.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Money is a win. I can't wait. I can't wait to test expound a little bit on the compensation plan. But no, those are first of all, that's a good win. Like I said, when you have override, you don't know where it's coming from, or you weren't expecting it, and it shows up. That's a big thing. And that's when you look at the coded compensation plan here is ridiculous. It's about to get even. It's about to get even better. Like I said, when you have $20 coming here from that person, $15 coming from that person, $10 coming from this person, you don't know who these people were, or that they were doing anything at all, and all of a sudden, you have hundreds of coming in, and then you have thousands of coming in. Next thing you know, you have 10,000 coming in. You don't know where this is coming from. Like I said, do what you're supposed to do. You'll get a chance to experience that real soon. And so, but that's good. Like I said, going back to Grant Cardone, Sell or Be Sold, guys. Make sure go on Audible, get it on Audible. If you can't find it on YouTube or anything like that, just get it. Again, it really does, regardless of how you feel about Grant Cardone. Again, because you have certain people who have training styles, personality styles that some of you say, I don't want to listen to this individual based on whatever. They may use a little profanity. Again, turn your filter off on the profanity stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's just remember, you don't want to miss your bag based on living in a box. You want to make sure that you are getting the meat and the potatoes. This man helps billion-dollar corporations become multi-billion-dollar corporations through sales. So if you're an entity, right, you consider yourself a corporation, you Inc., me Inc., right? Uh, would you go out and get the best, training, for your sales force? Answer is yes, right? But the one thing that you guys get, you get that bill that comes with it, and you know for a fact it's worth it. And you say, you know what, I can't afford to. Well, you can't afford not to, but now it's free. So again, just the information right now alone, just the Grant Cardone calls, that stuff is free, right? But the Celebi Solar is almost free, right? So get that, listen to that. I don't really pub, again, a lot of different individuals the way I do, certain things. That one thing will give you a foundation when it comes to, sales, and it'll tell you and teach you how people actually behave and why they behave and why they do the things that they do. Okay? And so remember, everything that we talk about, we bring it up is for a reason. Okay? It's for a reason. So many people saying the same exact thing can't, again, coming from the top all the way down to the bottom, pay attention to it. All right. Let's see here. I have three more before Vic, and then we're gonna go into the training. We got Sabrina, Laura, and then Idris, and then we're gonna go into the training. So Sabrina.
Awesome. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Bean. This is truly a blessing to me. Just talking about the GCU, I have two favorites on there, Big Brother Dave and Alex. They are my favorites. Uh, Big Brother Dave is always, he's the one that says, ask the hard question. If
Right.
it seems like someone is hemming and hawing about you talking or what you're saying to them, ask them, what's the problem? Is it me? Is it you? Do you have the money? What's the case? Right.
Mhm.
And then with
Right.
Alex, it's about the scripts. read the scripts. Very first time I had to do edification for you, I had my phone in my hand, but I was not reading the script. And
Mhm.
so it's important, read the script.
Mhm.
It takes all of the pressure off. Learn the scripts. It's huge.
Mhm.
And then from Millionaire Mentorship, transparency. I had a conversation with you, Mr. Bean. Transparency is the key. You've got to let people see your transparency, getting over your dislikes and your issues, right? So there's things that we do or don't like because of the way we were built based on our environment, but get over it because that is keeping us from making the money or making the connections that we need, because becoming the one that you want to recruit, right? We have to see those individuals that, you know, who we want to be and the people that we want to recruit, we have to be that. So if we're not in that headspace where we can see that, then we're doing a disservice to ourselves.
Yeah.
So my wins for the week, my major one was I hosted the Millionaire Mentorship Call. I am so grateful. That was phenomenal. You know, going back to that very first one of doing the when we had our event here of edifying you, I came back home, and you can ask Eddie. I came back home and it was like, okay, got to get this, got to get this. I'm not doing this ever again. Got to get this down pat. And so I'm grateful for that. That was definitely a privilege. And the other two wins we got this week, I helped two of my teammates. One was a solar appointment and one was a water appointment. Thank you, Idris, so much. That was phenomenal. And Mrs. Bean, we have follow-up calls for both. So looking forward to building in 2025.
That's what I'm talking about. And we talk about it all the time, guys. When we say, um, get ready, so you know, and stay ready. And then one day when somebody comes looking for you and they need your help, you don't have to worry about anything at all. You do it like, you know, like it's nothing, you know. And so I call, obviously, I'm like, Sabrina, I need you to host. Okay, no problem. Like, it's like it's no. I think about it. Yeah, I need you to host. Okay, all right. So on the spot, boom. And so again, don't be afraid to read the scripts. I'm gonna tell you, look, that's if I see a person and they reading, and it's one thing I wanted that lets me know that they probably just met, and it's probably this person just probably got thrown into the situation, and so and they just met, so they don't really know each other like that. So they're reading it. I appreciate you reading it, so I can get all the business, all the bullet points that I need as a person in the audience. Now, if I see you reading it again 3 weeks from now, then I know for a fact you don't really care about introducing. If I'm a guest and I'm coming back, like she's still reading. They don't like, but like Carla, give me like Carly, right? Like Carly, she's been doing it so long, it's in her spirit. And so and the thing about her is that she used to actually memorize it. Like she would go through and she would do it over and over and over again. She would familiarize herself with the bullet points over and over and over and over again. And then she would do it for Miss Bean. The next thing you know, now the thing about it is she still had her phone, but nobody knew, you know, that she had a phone. It was just like it was a comfort zone for her. And if something tripped up, like a cat ran by it, or a dog, you know, hit her foot or something, she can go right back to where she was at. But you know, having them there for protection is always good. You know, that's no different than the slides. We can go through. If I just had the bullet points, I can go on. You know, without the slides, I can do the presentation. You know, based on just having the bullet points. You know, based on, say, I can have it on a cue card, index card, slide one, boom, slide two, and I can do it from there. But you definitely, like I said, those repetitions, guys. I'm telling you, get ready, do those presentations. I mean, do those intros, the edification and stuff like that as much as you can. And you want to be as natural as you can. So when we call on you, you know, you're ready because you've been ready, right? Not getting ready. That'll throw you off. But Big Brother Dave, and yeah, I love Big Brother Dave. And Alex was actually our rep. You know, we did our thing back in the day, and he's like me, Big Brother Dave, when it comes to having a hard conversation. People don't respect you unless you can. And I'm gonna tell you, you know, consumers respect people who are direct, professional and direct. You know, get to it. You know, business owners, they respect people who are direct, professional and direct. Get to it. Come in. We got things to do. Let's go ahead and why are you here? Why are we on the phone? let's okay, just ask for the money, right? But the thing, those things, what he says, this normally when a person gets to the point to this point, they say, hey, I got to think about it, or hey, let me ask my wife, or hey, whatever the objection is, whatever that obstacle is, you basically you go back to them and say, you know what, normal when a person gets here is one of three things: they don't believe in me, that I can help them, they don't believe that they can do it, and or they don't have the money. And which one is it for you? It's okay, and just sit back, relax, take your hands off of it. Just let them talk, let them explain what's going on, and they'll tell you, hey, it's what, it's the first of the month. I just paid the mortgage, or you know what, like we talked about last week in the role playing, you know, it just don't seem like it's a good deal based on the few savings that I'm going to get when it comes to solar. So whatever it is, they'll tell you if you ask them. You got to give them, but knowing the person, those three questions can be any three questions. If it's a network, you say, well, knowing a person say something like that is because one of three things: one, they don't believe in the leadership; two, they don't believe that the company is going to be around; or three, they don't believe that they can do it. Which one is it? And so now you notice that pause, that silence, because at that point in time, the first person who speaks, that's the person that pays, right? They either pay out of the pocket or you pay out of the commission, right? So you lose the deal, or they ink the deal, right? And so yeah, but that's good stuff. And scripts, like I said, just going back to the scripts, um, you don't have to wait for us to make a script. Like I said, if you got the foundation to a script like the script that we did last week, and Doc, if one of you or Angel or anybody at some point in time, I'm actually pull the script up later. If one of y'all can pull up the script that we used last week, that'd be great. But I'll and when I ask you for it later. So I'm going to talk to you guys about that, because you have a lot of different services, you have a lot of different you know products and things that we're going to have access to and we're going to be offering. And so you want to make sure that you are out there working scripts that are effective with the foundation that we use, but with your personality on it. Yeah. And so, but those are all good things. But I like that just transparency moment, as if you're on those calls, a lot of times the millionaire mentorship calls are convicting calls. Like they do wake something up in you and make you say, you know what, that was for me, or that I used to do that, or I still do that, or I need to stop that, or whatever it is. You know, those calls are like a mirror. Those like mirror calls. It puts the mirror right there in front of you and lets you know where you're at, let you know who you are, let you know if you're shucking and jiving, whatever. But it's no different than going to church, right? You just Pastor Show was talking to me today. Well, so was the trainer, right? And so just that's why you want to be on those calls. Those calls are tune-up calls. People go to church to stay on the path to heaven, and people go to trainings to stay on path to financial freedom and millions. Right? Salvation, financial salvation, spiritual salvation, guys. It's again, it's all the same. Okay? So stay plugged in and stay ready like Sabrina. Appreciate you, Sabrina. All right, Laura.
Great morning, great morning. I'm excited, super
Yes.
excited. So, first of all, I'm going to respect the time. I have a lot to say, but I'm going to definitely respect the time. So, this was a phenomenal week, starting off with boot camp, Mr. Bean. I like to think about boot camp as a stick of dynamite where you lit the fuse so that we could explode into 2025, right? And so with boot camp, what struck out to me the most was the Become a Builder 500 factory. And you gave us the way to do that. Get your 4, pay no more, and then teach those 4 to get their 4, pay no more. And in simple as that, you now have become a Builder 500. Once you've done it, you can teach it. So that was just phenomenal. I mean, there was so much information packed into Builders Boot Camp, but that's the one really thing that I want to put into immediate operation, into immediate implementation from Builders Boot Camp. Millionaire Mentorship Call. Oh my God, the 5 levels of leadership. Well, when you were describing a pinnacle leader, which should always be our goal, although not many people reach that goal, but it has to be what we are aspiring to. You said three things that really hit me in that description. The decisions that you make at this level have generational impact. And, you know, that really hit me because I'm a senior citizen. And so I'm thinking about my daughter and my grandchildren. And so the decisions that I'm making now are having an impact on the next two generations and maybe generations after that. You also said, when you decide, your excuses die. You kill your excuses. You said you would kill your challenges. That really meant something to me because if you decide something, then all those other things don't matter. You can't even speak excuses. You can't even say, well, I didn't do it because, well, you can't because you made a decision to move forward. And then the third thing you said on Millionaire Mentorship was separate yourself from your team through production. Man, that was, you hit me with a sledgehammer with that. Yeah, and so that's my goal. You know,
Yeah.
I'm challenging my team to catch me.
Yeah.
I'm challenging my team to catch me.
Yeah.
So my wins, got to give me my wins real quick.
Come on.
I promoted boot camp on that Saturday morning, and 30 minutes before boot camp started, I got someone to upgrade to builder, and that person was on the boot camp and participated in the boot camp. Okay, that person now has a launch scheduled for this month, the 17th, Friday the 17th. So I'm going to be launching his business. I'm really excited about him because he has a circle of influence and he's in Houston. So if he does what he's supposed to do, I will, you know, of course I'm edifying you all the time, Mr. Bean, but I will allow him to come into your presence. I also,
I love it.
I also got you know, I respected people for the holiday. I was a Walmart during the holiday, but you know, other people weren't. So on the 2nd of January, I called up a lady that I had spoken to about solar, and I said, "Hey, listen, I'm doing my calendar for the month, and I want to get you on my calendar. So could you just send me your bill? You could email it to this email address." And I got that bill, and I've got that appointment set up. I had met another fella in the restaurant, and he was talking about getting a Generac. I says, well, hey, listen, man, you need to get this solar report before you do that so you can make an informed decision. I said, because the Generac only works when your power is out. Solar works all the time. So he's sending me his bill. And so my goal is to become a Builder 500 factory and also to increase the cohesiveness of my team. And that's what we've been working on and doing the presentations. I'm working with my team members to get them up to speed to do the presentations themselves. And then I'm off and running and telling them, watch my back, catch me. That's
That's what
it,
I'm
Mr.
talking
Bean.
about.
Thank you so much.
No, that's great stuff. Oh, that's great stuff. Let's unpack that a little bit. So, um, you know, one, when you look at the separating yourself from your team, it's important because you got to understand you can't lead your peers. You can influence your peers. You know, you can, communicate with them. You know, you can connect with them, but leading them, it's like when you're on the same level. Okay, the same level. If you're on the same level, as your team, yeah, you're really not moving them. It's like, you live on the next street. You don't live in another neighborhood. You live on the next street. Your house might be a little bit bigger than mine, but it's like over there is where the estate section is. Okay. If I want some real advice, if I want a real change, I want to move over there. I can't take the information that I'm getting from my neighbor and move over there to the estate section where their houses are twice and three times and five times as big as our house. Right. And so, again, there's no if there was like there's conversation. Yeah, so you don't really take it seriously. You heard it. And if you hear it again from somebody in the estate section, then it'll resonate like, oh man, one of my homies was just talking about this, but I still want the information from the person in the estate section. And so if you ever notice some of y'all will talk to your people and you'll tell them something that you learned, and then they don't listen to you. And then they come here and they hear me say it. I mean, it's all of a sudden, Sabrina, you heard what Mr. Bean said today? You like, man, dude, don't make me punch you in your really, really, Jarek? Really, Jarek? Like, really, Kathy? Really? Like, really? Like, so you looking at them like, man, I just sold you. Eddie man. Yeah, I heard it. It's like it's frustrating, right? And so it's the same thing, when you talk, because it's the same thing. It's like when I'm looking for the big money, I'm always looking for the people who over here they had grand money over here, they had huge houses over here, they had huge businesses over here, they had huge networks over there, and so I want to talk to the person that's in the audience sitting next to me that's a guest, or the person who is sitting in the back of the room at an event. I want to talk to the person who's on the stage. I want to talk to the person who they just brought up and recognized. I want to talk to the person with the resume, right? That's why you you have no resume. If you don't have that resume that separates you from your team members, okay? You are a team member, okay? And I mean, they view you as a peer. They view you as somebody who they got started with, and somebody who they're growing with, and they respect you as a human being, but they don't respect your advice, as a builder. Right? They don't respect your advice as a leader. And that's human nature. So don't take it personal, take it as a trigger. Don't take it personal. Use it to fire you up. You go out there and run through walls and kick down doors and get the build a 500, build a 1,000, build a 2,000. So you can now start, receiving the benefits of the platform, saying, hey, listen to what Brenda said. Brenda's build a 500. Listen to what Brenda said. Brenda build a 1,000. Next thing you know, by the time she gets a build a 2,000, build a 4,000, she has now become the voice for people who are build a 500s in her group, right? And so that edification is being passed down, is being built up, and so it builds you up at the same time. So it's not your voice saying I went build a 500. It's our voice saying, you know, she went build a 500 or he went build a 500, and you should be listening to them because they're going through the process. Okay, but build a 1,000 and to a brand new person is a big difference. Build a 2,000 to a brand new person is a bigger difference. Build a 500, there's a little respect there because they haven't done it yet, but it's not the ultimate level. Separation. You know what I'm saying? Go out there, put a bunch of people in business and help a bunch of people go out here and rank advance. Next thing you know, that you'll get a bunch of respect and a bunch of people following you. You won't need to go call mama, tell my brother to do mama, tell my sister, that now you got to go get your mama, your daddy to say, hey, can you tell them, what I'm saying, to clean their room or whatever it is, or clean out the bathroom. It's my time to go in the bathroom. No, when you say do it, it gets done. You don't have to go get anybody. So that's about as best metaphors I can use off the top of my dome. So I hope it worked. Hope you got it. Get separation, man. Get separation. And it's again, separation is good for everybody. I mean, trust me, it's good for everybody. Separation is the best. Like you're still with them, you still communicate with them, still in the trenches with them, still presenting for them. But that separation of position, separation of position is what, like for a person who's a congressman, and you talking to the president, y'all in politics, but y'all on different levels. Right. And so, yeah, one of y'all is the man or the woman. The other one, you just participate. Right. So maybe one day if you keep drinking milk. So, but that's big. And so build a 500. All right. So build a 500. You know what? I'm not even going to do it. I'm gonna wait till I talk about the compensation plan after this next part of the training. I'm gonna talk about that a little bit. But yeah, that legacy, Laura. For my growing raising kids today, and I say kids raising children today. I have a 13-year-old, 16-year-old, and this world is different. This world is a lot different, and you're up against a lot, as a parent. And I'm gonna just say, if you listen to me, you'll realize that you're up against a lot, and it's the same, when it comes to you building a business builder here in any company. You're up against a lot when it comes to being a child, when it comes to peer pressure, stuff like that. You're around all these different voices. You're around social media, and bullying is going to a whole nother level. You got people picking on you for making great decisions. And so you got a lot of that going on. So as a parent, you can't force your kids to do anything, basically that'll stick because you're the authority. And when you say do something, you better do something. At that point in time, they're going to do it to appease you, or because they're fearful of you, but they're not going to do it because it makes sense, or they really understand why they're grasping that reason or that concept, right? They're just going to do it based on they don't want to get punished, whatever it is. And you know, being a leader and me coaching and over the years and me, just working and pouring into people over the years, I found ways of communicating with my son, both my sons directly and indirectly. And for me, I'm starting to see that everything all those seeds that I planted didn't fall on concrete. And a lot of times it looked like it does, but again, if you're consistent with it and you're staying with it, and you continue to pour into them, you continue to coach them and go coach them up, develop them. And I send them stuff on social media all the time from social media, because if I want to talk to you about something and I might feel like you might not receive it, I'll just send them a video. You know what I'm saying? And I say, hey, we'll be on our way to school. You watched the video yesterday? Yes, sir. No, sir. Okay. All right. Well, you need to watch the video before you get home from school. Right. Or, yes, sir, I watched it. Okay. So tell me what you got from it. All right. And so I'll let the video do the talking for me. I don't have to be the voice 100% of the time. If somebody has a voice that's different than me that they can listen to without being angry at that voice or being fearful of that voice, so they can just take it in and receive it, knowing I'm going to ask them something, they'll pay more attention to the video, trying to figure out what the message is that I'm about to ask them about, than, they will, of me having a direct conversation with them as somebody who's, their leader. Right. And so, now I'm starting to see, though, the maturity in my sons and how they're growing up, how they're sitting down in the office yesterday. Justice brought his business plan in, trying to, get into drop shipping and some other stuff, videos and stuff. And just, hey, Dad, here's some things that I was thinking about for extra money, whatever. And 13 years old, and then, like I said, my other son, me and him are having conversations, people by people skills, life choices, and all kind of other things now. And he's seeing it now. The conversation that I've had with him about women and how to pick a woman, and so I think I did pretty good, like I said, about it. Trust me, your mom, you here because I picked good, and I'm still here because she picked good. So at the end of the day, you need to be paying attention to me, not your friends. Your friends don't know nothing about what I know. I've been doing this for a long time, right? And so it's like now I see, his friends, the female friend that he has, two-parent household, real sweet young lady, not hanging with a clique, all the stuff that, like, so you see him start to go in that direction, like, man, you can't say don't do that. This is why you shouldn't do that. And you're gonna end up being a starter husband for one of these chicks out here, bro. Let me pay attention to what I'm saying. And so, but it's like I'm taking all of this stuff, and because me and my father, we communicate, differently. Remember, my father is one generation removed from slavery. You know what I'm saying? So the way they discipline, is to abuse, and their love is abuse, because that's how you got discipline. And so it's like all these different things that I'm learning personally over the years in this industry, and through leading and through developing, I'm pointing at him, and I'm like, man, I'm finally seeing that he's getting it. You know what I'm saying? And so, and he's choosing my, methods and my conversations and my, the way I think over some of those of his families and some of his friends, rather, that go to school with him. And so when you talk about pinnacle leadership, be pinnacle leader in your house. You know what I'm saying? This is personal development travels, man. I'm telling you, it helps you in every aspect of your life, your relationships, with your spouses, your significant other, your kids. It helps, trust me. So Laura, I'm gonna just tell you right now that pinnacle leadership in the house, is flat out you we're gonna lead some people, but pinnacle leadership in the house through your kids, grandkids, great grandkids, that's a legacy. I'm telling you, that's a legacy. And so that's the one thing that this industry has given me, a chance to break all my generational curses, make sure that they don't live on, and the generational blessings go forward. And so I appreciate that. But boy, it's this parent thing, boy. It don't come with no manual, but this leadership thing, it helps you figure some stuff out before they come. Because I had to tell my wife sometimes, like, hey, I wouldn't have did that like that. At first she was like, hey, I wouldn't have said that like that. So we doing this thing together. And so I think in the very, very beginning, we both let YouTube, help us raise our kids. Right. And so, but now it's like we both have a take, we both have an understanding, and she and her being, you know, um, a leader to them, and it's like it's a woman thing, and they're boys, they're men. So they're young men. So it's like her frustration level is at some point in time can get here. And so for me, and I'm looking at it, I got a different approach. I come back in, backdoor approach, and I handle it differently, and we work together on it. But yeah, we this thing, I'm telling you, this industry has done a lot for our families, and just personal family, direct, and the family that aunts, aunties, cousins, guys. I'm just pinnacle leadership. It's priceless. It's priceless. I don't care what people say, what religion people follow. Okay, remember personal development. Like Think and Grow Rich. To be exactly as an example, Think and Grow Rich is like a secular Bible. Like when you're looking at all of these personal development books that are out there, everything that's in these books and in these audios is in a spiritual writing, not just the Bible, right? And if you go through all those scriptures, whatever they call them, and other spiritual findings, you'll find that all of that stuff is been rewritten into secular terms, worldly terms, so a person can receive it and not put a religion on it. And when you walk it, basically you're walking your religion. You know what I'm saying? When you go through that, you're pretty much you're growing into that religion anyway. You're following everything that book says do anyway, right? So personal development, don't short yourself on that. But I appreciate that, Laura. Idris, and then we'll go with Vic.
Yes, yes, yes. Good morning, all. Very excited. Had a very great week. Last couple of weeks, I should say, the last two. Just to piggyback off of what Ms. Johnson mentioned, and what's this? And yeah, just to add, just a good thing that happened over the last week. We had an install for Ms. Johnson as well with her cousin. That literally happened right after Christmas on the 26th. So got a chance to speak to her. She's very excited, happy about the whole process, and looking to pass over more referrals as well. But to talk a little bit more about, the boot camp. Boot camp was absolutely amazing. And once again, I'm gonna keep on. This is the last time I'm gonna repeat this, but because I don't want to, make you feel any way. But the scene of you crying, right? Now you explained it in such a way that that picture it's like locked in my head. And once again, it wasn't about you crying. It wasn't a funny moment at all. Is that I actually understood what that meant, right? I've been playing that in my own head for a while of me possibly happening at that same moment. And that's really locked in, right? Because of what it really meant to you, but as you just said, what that meant to everybody else around you, right? So that was extremely impactful. In addition to the interest index calculator that you put in place, right? Now, this has always been a situation for me. There's events, conventions, things that we all go to that we get a lot of nuggets. But the most impactful part of all of these situations for me is literally the side conversations, the dinners after, or those one-on-one phone calls, right? And I know we had a phone call on the first about that. And, it was a breakthrough moment because now it just made me see and understand this business in a completely different way, right? It's no more, the goals that I maybe used to set in the past, they were for right now situations, right? Instead of, really understanding what it means to retire in this industry, right? And understanding that retiring, and no disrespect, and retiring not meaning retiring from the company, but from the work you put in, using that income to where whatever happens with anything, right? It doesn't even matter to you, right? So extremely big breakthrough. Greatly appreciate that. And I'm looking forward for what everything that 2025 has to offer.
Yeah, man. I'm like I said, those phone calls, they really mean a lot. People learn a lot from those after the event, phone calls and meetings. The meetings after the meetings, they really do help. It's like you said, when we talked about from the Builders Boot Camp, the last hour, the final hour, and everybody learn more from everybody, because every time you had a breakthrough, we had a talking point and to elaborate on. And it really is important. And so that's good. Like, we have like Sabrina talked about her, she had a moment, and this is definitely a safe place. So anytime you have a moment, guys, anytime you have a breakthrough, anytime you have something come through, and we open the mic up, go ahead and open it up, let it out, because what happens is, you're pretty much helping somebody else, you're empowering somebody else. Remember, I talked about your affliction being that of millions of people behind you, but if you don't let it out, you're holding those people up, right? Remember, it's never ever about you. It's always about the crew, and it's the people who your creator put behind you to follow you. And so, um, I'm always looking for the breakthrough. I'm always looking for the breakthrough. But that the millionaire, when you talk about the calculator, that calculator part, it's just one of those things where what can we do different? Like, we talk about this. What can I do to drive the point home? What can I do to give a person that thing, and they can see it, all the way from today, how valuable this $1,000 really is. I didn't think this $1,000 a month was that valuable at all. That's why I blew it. That's why I always found something. That's why I always self-sabotage. I always found something to blow it on, right? But think about how, if you go back over the last 20 years, right, everybody here is at least 30. Let's just say 30. But go over the last 10 years, put you at 20. Suppose you are 40, go over the last 20. And think about all the money that you blew based on the fact that you had nowhere to invest in. Laura, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you in a bad place. So, but to think about, think about this. I'm 50, right? I'm like, think about. I'm looking at places where I blew money based on me not having anybody that was financially literate around me, right? The stuff that I bought, the stuff that it just don't make any sense, right? And so that's why most people become a statistic. So when I'm looking at, how do I show these people how valuable that $500 a month is, or that $1,000 a month is, or that 2,000, whatever it is that they're blowing every month, like they got that money that's just gonna keep on coming and coming and coming, and it's not, you know, I got to show these people that pictorial point, guys. So when you watch it, it made you want to find $1,000 to put up for this month, right? It made you want to find $1,000, and it made you want to go out there and increase your recruiting so you can have $1,000 a month extra coming in, or $2,000 a month extra coming in. And remember, confused people do absolutely nothing. So people heard that conversation, for years, but they couldn't make the connection. So there's still a bit of confusion, and so we cleared that up. And so, but that again is just, that's why I say creative thinking, always finding a way, to think about how you can get your point across better. Like even with the three, I told you with the scissor call, the scissor call me, basically started with me typing in AI, asking for a description of the company. And I took it and I drilled it all the way up and created a 3-minute conversation out of it, just built on it. I was excited about what I saw. It gave me the framework. I said, okay, well, let me put the framework in my words, and let me go ahead and add value here and add on value there. So that's the same thing, as you want to make sure you keep doing that. But that calculator situation is important. But yeah, I can't wait to see some of y'all cry on stage. I can't wait to see you guys get your stories, and because this is a journey. Some of you guys have a journey, and I'm looking at people, and you're gonna hear from somebody I've been doing business with for a long time, and I'm seeing him I'm seeing him in his space, and I'm seeing him, do some evolution, and it's crazy, in this new space for him. But when you get to build 8,000 and you get a chance to get on the stage and you get a chance to tell your story, right? When you can, then you it just, that's going to be a moment where the world gets a chance to look into your spirit and say, man, I was going through the same thing she was, or I had to go through the same obstacles he did. I had to grow in personally. I came from the same hood, or I came from the same, whatever it is. I had the same affliction basically that individual had, and now that person's blessed me. You got to earn the right, to get to that stage to tell your story. Nobody wants to hear it right now, right? Remember, when you get on that stage, though, they're going to be locked and loaded. They're going to be tuned in to what you have to say. And those 15 or 20 minutes, of you telling your story, how many kids you have, how many families you were providing for, how many houses you were taking care of, how many mortgages you was paying that didn't belong to you, how many kids you was putting to school that didn't belong to you, and how why you had to do all of this stuff, and how you almost quit and how it broke you down, how you cried in the night when nobody saw you, how you had arguments with your significant other because they wanted you to quit, how you had kids saying, I don't love you because you're not spending no time with me no more. You don't, when all of that stuff hits you when you're on that stage, right? And you're going through your story and you're talking about your journey, that's the stuff that books and movies are made of. Telling you. That's because when that cry came, the shackles came off for me. I don't know what it meant, like I said, what somebody else's cry for me, but growing up poor, growing up broke, like I said, and my father, I'm 2 generations removed from slavery. He's one. And I know for a fact that my family will never ever have to worry about money again as long as they live. The shackles came off, the slave went away. There's no more bondage. And so that whole entire release, what I'm saying, that was that moment. And so I can't wait to experience your release. Each and every last one of y'all that hit that stage. And so but I appreciate that. That was a good conversation, man. Because again, you never know who's out there. You never know who's getting the message. You never know who it's going to hit or impact. So appreciate you. All right. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and transition here. Got a real good story for y'all, and so again, we talk about a person who I have been doing. We did a couple companies together, and again, one of the companies he did, he's and every company that we do, he always evolve into, who he needs to evolve into, right? And when we did, rideshare, he was a guy, he was out there trying to put the rideshare down and rideshare and travel, making the things happen. And when we, doing other things, because he was always in there in the mix, but he's found his calling. I can tell you, he's real good at it. And but the other thing is he's a great student at it. Like there are a lot of people who are speaking very, very well of him, who mentors for him or who he asks and inquires for information, about this trade that we're in. And again, so I see Vic. There we go. All right, Vic. Victor, introduce
Mr.
yourself
Bean,
to
how you doing,
everybody real
sir?
quick. Yeah, introduce yourself to everybody real quick.
How you doing, guys? First of all, I want to thank you and Mrs. Bean for the most incredible platform where it allows me to grow daily. Just because you don't see me on every call doesn't mean I'm not listening to it. So I really thank you for that, sir. Guys, I'm a former hairdresser, cosmetologist. I'm very good at what I do. I've done celebrities, I've done dignitaries, I've done you name it, I've done it. But it's just was not enough money. Spent a lot of time on my feet. People coming in asking for discounts, and it's like I just met you. I don't do discounts. Okay, so I realized the value that I wanted to portray was not there. So I had to find not only something to get these shackles off me, but something where I could make an impact for my adoring daughter. I'm a first-time father. I'm 59. My daughter's 3.5. Okay. She's been a true blessing. She's my inspiration. She's the ambition. She's, you name it, she's all those things wrapped into one. And there's nothing that's going to keep me from my goals. Okay. So with the platform being the way that it is, first of all, I'm going to just be very clear that I'm not better. I'm just different. I have the confidence when I have a bad day and I wake up and I'm not feeling like, oh man, I'm feeling sorry for myself and I don't want to get out of bed and da 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 because I missed a credit card payment or I couldn't take my daughter to this thing that I wanted to take her to because money was tight. Well, guess what? Them days is over.
There you go.
Completely over. Each challenge, each one is a step to success. I don't mind getting pushed back 2 spots because I'm coming back 3. Okay. I keep focused. I keep going and I keep going. And now what I'm doing, and I'm gonna break it down to you. You might want to take some notes on this, guys, because I've been having fun. Like, this is fun to me. Like, tell me no so I can get a yes later. It doesn't matter to me. Your no is insignificant. It does not. It does not penetrate my armor. It does not affect my mindset. In fact, I embrace it because it just makes me better. So give me a no, and then I'll touch you up 30 days from now and see where your head is at, and ask you some key questions. What's different now between the last 30 days and today? What's different? If nothing's different, then let me show you what I'm doing. Okay, so I try to get to the, like Mr. Bean said and Arlene said, you got to ask the hard questions, and I think that's very powerful because it makes people think, and all they can do is really go back in their mind and think to myself, you know what, this guy is right. I don't know what it is about him, but he's right. So then they open up to you, and you find out what the problem is. Okay, so let's do that. But this is what I've been doing, guys, and this is like fish in a barrel. Okay.
Oh. Before you do that,
Yeah.
let's do this. So right now, I want to make sure we set the stage for it. So, because again, this is very, very important because everybody's got that thing and how they promote. Everybody's got their thing and whether they're using social media, whether they're buying leads or whatever. And I always talk about it's not where you go, it's who goes there. So, the place you do business, is basically it's a great place to do business at, but most importantly, you're the right person that shows up there because everybody goes to Home Depot, right? But when you talk about going to Home Depot, some people walk in and walk out, don't see the beauty of Home Depot. What is it about Home Depot that's it's extremely attractive to do business for you? Why is it the place that you frequent? Why do you go to Home Depot? Let's start there.
Okay. 2 reasons that I started going there. One is because contractors, roofers, people in those fields go there early in the morning, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays to pick up supply. Okay. I go there to observe and people go there to improve their homes. Mm-hmm. Think about that. They go there to improve their homes, their biggest investment, So to me, going to Home Depot is like an extension of their happiness. Mm-hmm. So what I'm trying to do is basically try to, pique their interest the right way, So customers, as well as definitely business partners. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I drive Lyft. I've been able to obtain bills while I'm driving Lyft. Like I just met this person and I got the bill. It was just too easy. I just kind of dropped a little nugget. Next thing you know, they're talking my ear off about solar. So I got 2 of my bills like that last week. Okay. Home Depot has been into full effect for me, probably for about going on a month. I go there every day, not the same one. I go to different ones. If I'm driving, I see a Home Depot, I mark it on my map. And if I haven't been there yet, I'm going to go there, Saturday morning, Sunday morning, maybe even Monday morning. But those are the 3 days that I target because that's when the big boys come in there and get their product. So what I look for, like in certain neighborhoods and certain lifestyles, you have people who have the big Maybachs and the big G-Wagon. I look for the guys that got the big dually. They got that big truck because they do big work, big bills. So I talk to them because one, I know they're hungry, very hungry. So I usually strike up a conversation with them. Real simple. I don't wear a suit to that environment. I wear my khakis, my stand up all day shoes. I don't wear a watch. I got on a hoodie and I look like them. Right. So that's one. And what I do is I ask them, say, hey, are you a roofer? That's the first thing I ask them. And they say, yeah, I am. I say, awesome. Then just to try to weed some, people that aren't going to be serious. What I do is not to be judgmental, but I do try to, target certain things. I ask them how long they've been in business. If they've been in business more than 5 years, I'm talking to them. Okay. The younger ones, they sometimes they're just not getting it. So I don't really, I might get their number still, but I'm not chasing anybody anyway. So it doesn't matter. But I ask them how long they've been in business. I ask them how big of a staff they have, like how many people they got working for them. And if they're the decision maker, because if they're not the decision maker, for a particular company or that LLC or whatever, then I might continue to talk to them, but I'm looking for the decision maker for the company, right? So the big truck's got the phone numbers on it, roofing, siding, blah, blah, blah. Talk to them. I put them in my phone as a possible business partner. I ask them to text me their first and last name, but I don't even lock them in until they go builder or anything in the business. So I don't lock affiliates in, and they don't do nothing for me right now. But builders and consultants, I lock in first and last name. Now they're in the business, so now they have access to me. I might drop a little crumb for them and tell them, yeah, I'll send you the information. Sometimes I won't even send it. I want to see what they're made of. Are you serious, or are you just blowing wind? You just blowing air? Then I haven't heard from you, man. I was waiting for the link. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I've been so busy, which is true, but I've been so busy. I forgot to send it to you. I'll send it to you right now. So when they call me and take the initiative to call me 2 or 3 days later after I met them, that tells me they're a little bit more open to moving forward. So that's one thing I've been doing. Basically, I just sit in the parking lot and wait for the big trucks to pull up. And sometimes I'll call them to see if they answer the phone. While they don't see me, I'm sitting in the car. So I'll call them, see if they answer the phone. And I give them a couple of, quick lines real quick and see what kind of reaction I get out of them. And if it's positive, I'll get out the car and go over and, how you doing? I'm Solar Vic. What's your name? So I shake their hand right away. I get to know them, ask them some really key questions, and just to find out, if I could show you a way where you could earn an additional, say, $50,000 to $150,000 a year without doing any heavy lifting like you do every day now, would you want to take a look? Yeah, what are you doing? Okay, look, I don't have time right now. I'm on my way to another event, but let me get your number. Text me your first and last name, and I'll send you the information later on. So I do that just to get the information. And it might be a dud, so I'm just moving on to the next person. I'm getting another number. I'm getting another name next, because I'm not trying to close the deal there. I'm just trying to weed out the ones who are not serious, right? A lot of fun. It's so much fun that I kind of look forward to. That's the highlight of my day now, because it's like these guys, they got hustle in them. I'm not getting up on a roof in 25-degree weather. You a bad dude. So if you can do that, you can do this. And that's my mindset on that.
So listen, before you go to your mindset, to go back, because this is some things that you said here when you talk about posture. See,
yes, sir.
Again, posture is very, very important. A lot of us, when you get started in the industry or when you get started in a company like this, you're in beg mode, you're excited mode, you see money mode, and you start the drool mode, like literally, I was, it's crazy. My dog can see. I have to make sure when I pull a doggy biscuit out, the dog is not in the house, because he drools like he's just like running water. If he see it, it's coming. And so. Right. When you actually behave in that manner, like when you looking at people, you see a dollar sign on somebody's head, and you're calling them and bugging them and everything else right away, it lets them know that you need them. You put them in a position of power, and you've now literally taken any room to negotiate or move the needle away from yourself. And so it's like, it's not necessarily you playing games, it's that you're teaching that person how to treat you out the gate. It's not manipulation. You are literally showing that individual you have a life too. You're busy too. You got things to do. Like you said, hey, I would like to talk to you about it, but can't do it right now. I'm on my way to my next Home Depot. He said next event.
Right.
I'm on my way to my next Home Depot. But it's like, guys, when you get that person's number and you don't call them back, say, hey, because I'll wait sometimes a day or two, and and I'll shoot a person a message, say, hey, look, my bad, it's been crazy business. As you can imagine, in my industry, it's just crazy right now. And phones just stop ringing for a moment long enough for me to reach out to you and say, hey, here's this information. And so, and sometimes, like I said, it might be 2 days. Even if they don't call me back in 2 days, that's when I'm sending them the message, because I want to make sure that I insert that I am busy. The other thing is this: what you chase after will run from you. Y'all hear me use this analogy a lot. Like in high school, you got the guy who chases the girl. She runs, and she's running after the guy who's running from her. You know what I'm saying? So you got the nice guy chasing the hot chick. The hot chick is chasing the hot jock, and but everybody's running from somebody who's chasing them. Well, in this scenario, when you stop running after a person, you turn around and look the other way, like you have other options, because you do have other options. Home Depot is full of options. All right, they're looking at you like, man, this. Hold on, let me go back over here and talk to Solovic. So that posture is one thing I wanted to talk about. Is hit you right there. The posture is crazy, right? And so mindset. The other thing he said was, he already has a gauge. He has a gauge on who to talk to based on the number of people he's talked to. So it's fair to say that how many people do you talk to, when you go to HEB, I mean, not HEB, Home Depot, every time you go to Home Depot, and how many times you go a week? I mean, how many people you talk to a week?
I'd say I'm talking to anywhere from 10 to 20 people
Okay.
in a
So,
week.
so look at that.
Sometimes more. It really depends on the time of day and how busy it is. But like I said,
hold on. I want
everybody-
to finish that point, Vic. Hold on. I'm gonna finish that point, then I'm gonna let you go. I'm talking about the ratio, guys. So 10 to 20 people, right? And over those weeks, over those months, like he knows who to talk to and who he's gonna get that desired result from. He's already identified and developed and cultivated his target market, target person. So he's not wasting time. And he doesn't look like the guy that's working the parking lot, right? He's on purpose. They don't see him running from person to person, right? He knows who he wants to talk to, and he got that by going through the numbers. So you got to go through the numbers and through the repetitions to define that. So go ahead, Vic.
And so once I get the information, I'll send out the information a couple of days later. If they respond with a thank you, or something like that, that tells me they're paying attention. Some people don't respond, which is fine. But I do send out the information, and then I'll call them on the day that I said, because I'll set the appointment to do a follow-up with them. Even though I might not send them the information right away, I still make the appointment to do a follow-up with them right there on the spot. Okay. I'll send you the information, but I'm going to follow up with you on Thursday at 1 o'clock. Can you make that? Yes. So if it's Monday and I haven't sent the information and they call me on Wednesday asking for it, I know what's up. So right there, I'm feeling pretty good. Show them the information, ask the questions. I ask them to take some really good notes so I can answer the questions, so they're not looking for questions to ask me, so I can get to the point of finding out what their pain is, what their problem is, and how many solutions can I provide for them. Pretty simple. That's what I do. I made friends with one of the Home Depot girls. Every time I go in there, I'm like, "Hey, what's up, Tessa? How you doing?" She's like, "What's up, Vic? I'm good, man." So I went by there yesterday, got her a cup of coffee and a couple of nice some rolls, like the donut stuff, kind of. That's the place I go to, and I only had it for her. You ought to seen everybody that worked there looking at her like, what's going on? And I said, you ain't got to tell nobody what's going on. Every time you send me a customer, I said, every time you send me a customer that goes solar, I'm going to give you 500. She's like, for real? I'm like, yes. I said, you can lie. I said, strike up a conversation. Oh, I went solar last month. I don't care. Tell them, lie to them. Talk about solar. Get me a customer so I can give you $500. Like, you got it. So she's my one plug, and I try to find one. I'm trying to find one in every store. Like today, Saturday, that's when they got their solar pros in there trying to sell solar. So, I'm about to go in there on Saturdays and start recruiting them. But they're getting paid to be there. I'm getting paid because I want to be there. And I just think that, it's a great, and I went to Lowe's too. Okay. Didn't like Lowe's. Lowe's doesn't have that environment where you got the serious construction people. It's more of a family oriented type of store. They don't even have a contractor pull up where you get your stuff. Home Depot has a spot where you pull your big truck up and you load up your stuff. So that's where I hang out at.
Yeah, Lowe's is a hard do it yourself type place.
Yeah, right. So I walk through the store at least 1 or 2 times while I'm there. I'll wait for some more trucks to pull up and try to find the right information from somebody there. And like I said, now, the trucks that don't have the logos and, running on a ball tire but they get out the truck, was like 3 of them. I'll still talk to them, but they're not as organized. They're not as driven, I think. They're just trying to survive out there. So I might be able to help them depending on their mindset. So I will talk to them, but I usually go for the more organized, more professional looking trucks and people, But really, fish in the barrel, man. It's Mr. Bean. It's a lot of fun. I'm getting better every time. If I get pushed back, I'll ask them. I was like, hey man, you having a bad day? I was just trying to make it better. Like, if you're having a bad day, we can talk later. That's not a problem. I'm not going to throw myself on them, but I'm letting them know like that, trying to put me off like that, that's not even going to work. I'm going to talk to you. You might not like what I got to say, but I'm going to talk to you. And I'm going to dig deep into you to find out what exactly I can share with you that'll light a fire up under you a little bit. Okay. This is a lot of fun, guys. Like, don't play with this. This is a solution to a lot of issues and problems that you might have had in the past. I recognize this. Mr. Bean didn't have to call me. I saw what he was doing, and I just came into business. No, there was no phone call. I loved it. I saw it, and I'm running with it. And I talk to somebody every day when I'm doing Lyft. I'm doing an interview for a salon that I'm going to interview them to see if I want to work there. And I'm only going to take that job to meet new people and make some real fast cash doing hair. But the real reason I'm going there is to meet new people. That's it. So I just try to put myself in an environment where I can meet new people every day. Home Depot just happens to be the best spot at this time.
Gotcha. Now, guys, anybody have any questions for Vic, first of all, before we move on? Because the thing about Home Depot, and you can use it for a lot of stuff. You can use it for water filtration, stuff like that as well. You can use it for a lot of different things, but it's just a great place, like I said, to go where you have people who they're in the home improvement, the home owner business industry, right? Everybody that's going there is going there for a house or some type of construction matter. So it's a great place to shop. But and like, as opposed to Lowe's, like I said, the do-it-yourself type place. But yeah, y'all have any questions for Vic when it comes to Home Depot and what he's doing over there? I know it's pretty self-explanatory, but it's some good stuff, man. I appreciate you coming on first off.
Thank you, sir.
I have a question for you, Vic.
Yeah.
When you're meeting these individuals, are you walking up to them in the store, in the parking lot? Or are you just sitting there observing in your truck? Or are you observing walking through the store?
If they got the big dually truck with the logo on them, I'll walk right over to them. And sometimes I'll call them first to see if they answer the phone. If they don't answer the phone, I'll walk over to them and say, hey, I just called you. I'm Solar Vic. How you doing? And I ask them, how long you been in business? Oh, about 8 years. I was like, okay. How many states are you working in? Just one. All right. Well, look, I don't want to take up a lot of time. I know you got some product to pick up, and I got to make my way to my next event. But I just wanted to ask you real quick, if I could show you a way where you could add some additional income to something that you're already doing by talking to your customers and aligning yourself to do their roof. What if I could show you how to make an additional blah, blah, blah? Would you like to take a look? I'm like, yeah, sure. And at that point, I basically get the number right there. I don't do no pen and pad. I got my phone. It works. I make them call me right now. Call me right now. So then I lock them in, first and last name, but I don't lock them in like in my contacts until they're in the business. Just because I feel like, I'm not going to give you so much time. But once they see what I'm doing, I show them how simple they can do it. And then I point out, I'm like, what if I could show you how to just have a very, very, what if I could show you how to expand? I said, you do business in 2 states. If you join me, I said, we can do business in 37 states. How does that sound? How are we going to do that? Well, I can't get into it right now. I'll tell you about it later. And I roll out on them. But if they ask me, how do you do that? That's when I know I got them a little bit, and I'll just get the number and I'll say, okay, nice meeting you, John. I'll talk to you later. I might go in the door the other way and they going that way, and I'll hang out. You know, I might go down the street, come back later when they're gone, and find me another one. But as I'm driving Lyft, when I see a Home Depot, I pull off and go into Home Depot for at least half an hour, 45 minutes. But Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays are key days for Home Depot guys. Early morning, them contractors are there getting their product, and that's the best time to talk to them because they already focused on their money, right? So to me, if they're already focused on getting the money, and I come along and talk to them and drop something in their lap, and they're like, I met this guy today. He told me I can make an additional, and I don't even have to do anything. Yeah. Well, you know, you got to do something, but you know what I mean. So they're like, yeah. So that's what I do. And another thing I just wanted to say that, like, Mr. Bean, closed mouth doesn't get fed, but it's all you got to be strategic with it, and the posture definitely is a big plus. But one thing that I did the other day, I had a passenger, he was a barber. So I already knew I was going to be able to connect with him because I didn't tell him I was a barber and a cosmetologist. But just about 5 minutes before we pulled up to his destination, and I asked him, how long you been in the game, man? He said, about 10 years. I said, how's it going for you, though? He's like, yeah, it's good, man, but I could definitely use another source of income. Right there, got him. He's been calling me nonstop for the last 2 days. I'm gonna watch the rest of the video. Okay, I'm gonna take notes and I'm gonna call you. I said, okay, man, just watch it, be on purpose, and I'll be looking forward to talking to you. He says, man, I'm not gonna miss out on this. So my thing is, like, you never know when somebody's looking for you. I was just giving a guy a ride to his job, and I could tell something was on his mind. So I figured I asked him, what's going on, and he told me. So I got a solution for him. And he's, if you're willing to learn something new, you stick with me for the next 2 to 5 years, you won't be cutting hair anymore, unless you just want to. And he was like, you know what? You're right. So never make a decision for anybody, guys. Say something. It doesn't have to be a whole lot. Just drop a potato chip in their lap and let them eat that first one, and then they'll tell you what's going on. I've learned that the hard way. I used to throw up on people because I was so excited, and I've learned that wasn't getting me anywhere. But I'm a red, guys. I like to go fast, so I'm always expecting everybody else to go fast, and it just don't work like that. So I've learned that through working with Mr. Bean. I want to throw up on them, but I just hold back and just give them one potato chip, and then I let them tell me the problem. And it's been working for me. And just to give you my wins for the week, sir, I got a new builder yesterday. Been trying to share the opportunity with this guy for a couple of months. He said, "Don't call us, I'll call you." Blah blah blah. Well, guess what? He called me, and now he's a builder. He also got solar. He signed a contract, I believe, last night, or he might have signed it today. I'm not sure. I'm going to close out with Dennis. So that's my 3 deals. I'm moving on to the 5th, and out of the 5, I already got 3 lined up. I gave a gentleman a ride to the airport last week. He was so excited to go solar, so I'm going to close him. And I got another gentleman I took to the airport. He's going solar. Just going to do his report for him. So I just need 1 more or 2 more to go mentor guys, and it's on, because that's my goal. That's the goal. If mentor isn't the goal, why y'all on here? That's all I know, because I'm going mentor. What's the problem? Like, that's where the big money's at.
Yep. Yeah, but I appreciate you, Vic, man. That's again, great conversation, guys. So any other questions before we, because I want to make sure we put a button on it and get everything done. Any other questions?
I just wanted to say thanks, Solar Vic, because you know where I'm going on Monday. Home Depot, 7 to 9,
Absolutely.
every day.
Every day, bro. I'm telling you, they waiting for you right there. And all you got to do is just sit back and watch them big dualies pull up. If they got a logo on their truck, they serious about making money. So that's who I talk to first. And then everybody else comes second. But get you a connection in the store, make a friend up in there, and that's going to pay out too. So
I was just about to ask you about that. Do you catch one of them women walking down the aisles, or catch somebody that's who you catch, the ones that's out there walking down the aisle stocking and helping?
Yeah. Well, I got the one at the register, because we made eye contact. So when we made eye contact, I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" You make eye contact with me, I'm talking to you. So
there you go.
There you go.
Register people are great too.
I might not drop it on them right away, but I'll get the rapport. Next time I come in, I'm pretty good with names, because as a hairdresser, remembering names, makes me a lot more bigger tips. So I remember names pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go
Mm-hmm.
back and I'll say, "Hey, Tessa, I only met her one time."
Mm-hmm.
So she smiled right away.
Mm-hmm.
People love to hear their name. I say, "Hey, Tessa, good morning. Guess what?" And I had my coffee, and I had a coffee and a donut behind my back. So I said, "Here, Tessa, I got this for you because we're gonna do some business together. I'll talk to you later." And I went to walk through the store, and then I came back. I said, "Can I give you $500?" I made her lean in. "Come here. Can I give you $500?" She's like, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, well, this is what you got to do." "For real?" I said, "That's all you got to do." So I'm gonna get me one of those in every Home Depot, maybe 2, maybe 3. It's just a cup of coffee and a couple of donuts, guys. It's no big deal.
Got to get your mold, man. Got to get your mold. And so, and I'm glad because I'm glad you pulled it out because that's the comment. I wanted you to go back in and reiterate that part of the conversation. That's good stuff. And so, guys, again, this is very, very important. Like I said, you have an actual point where now you can go and find, like you said, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Find a day. I'm gonna just say find a day where you can go into Home Depot. Like I said, if you're gonna do it 3 Saturdays in a row, or 3 Sundays in a row, or 3 Mondays in a row, just go buy something very, very small and identify somebody who may be sweet and go to that same register, all 3 of those times, get that person to see you. Like I said, you're just going up there, because now you're cultivating a spot, you're grooming in the area, you're grooming in a spot, and boom, like I said, you find that one person and you remember her name. Like you said, after the first time, say her name, and then next thing you know, you're coming through there with something to offer, and then hit them with that question: "Can I give you $500? Can I give you $1,000?" So you got the because that person don't want to be on the register. You know what I'm saying? But they got them on the register because they have great personalities and they can trust them. You know what I'm saying? So those
Right.
are 2 character
Right.
traits you got to understand. I wouldn't put nobody over my money. 1, at the door, unless they have a great personality, greeting personality, and 2, if I can trust them. And so now, y'all got the framework, man. Home Depot should be a cash cow for y'all. It's like people, like he said, shooting fish in a barrel. They pulling up for you to take their information. That's why they pulling up. They don't know why they think they pulling up for lumber and tools and that. Nah, they pulling up for you to take their information so they can get qualified to do solar. So also when you talk about the scripts, guys, I appreciate you, Vic. Thank you. Everybody give Vic some fire. Everybody give show him some love. Again, just coming in and giving you guys the goods on what he does. And that's the thing about this family, guys, that I really love and admire. You guys come in, and you guys give up, your secrets. You guys give up, the things that make you special. And when you do that, just telling you, the person who does that the most normally is the person who's the most successful, right? And also, the person who trains on what they do, especially through the group and through their groups, they learn the most. They evolve that the most. And so I'm going to say all those conversations you're hearing him today, and he's using Home Depot to go mentor, right? Like literally. I mean, he's getting people from other places, but that Home Depot, he sees mentor through that. He sees future, satellite solar deals through that. And so you want to make sure, again, don't be one of those individuals who be like, well, I'm gonna keep this to myself. I'm gonna keep this to my team. I'm gonna keep, because trust me, had I done that, I wouldn't be a VP of the company. Had I done that, I wouldn't have partnership. I'd had a big group and growing group, but I would have no ownership. And so when you go out there and look to serve the masses, guys, again, good things happen for you. And so, but I appreciate you, Vic, on that. I really do.
Just one more thing, Mr. Bean, I know you
Yeah.
got to move on. Tessa also, when I was walking out, she says, "Well, it is a new year. Maybe it's time to try new things."
Mhm.
So, like if I give her $500 just one time, she probably just come into the business because she sees that I'm honest and that I do what I said I was going to do. So,
Mhm.
and that will create a lot more respect later on, that
Mhm.
maybe she might, what, I'm gonna take a look at what you're doing because I really don't want to work here anymore.
Mhm.
So hey, I planted the seed, I got her some coffee, and I told her 505 bills. So right now I got her attention. Who knows from now, 30 days from now, 90 days from now, she might be like, "Victor, I'm ready to get started." So
Mhm.
you know what? It's everything is going to lead to something. And thank you, Mr. Bean. Guys, go out there, have some fun. I'm telling you, it's a lot of fun. And I had one guy tell me, "No, I got everything. I don't need you," and this and that, da 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 da. And I walked away, and I got in the car, and I said to myself, "I'm Solar Vic. What you talking about?" I got out the car, I walked back over there, and I said, "Mr. So and so," I said, "Mr. Got Everything, do you have solar?"
He turned around and looked at me. He says, "Let me give you my number." That was it. So, regardless if it's gone anywhere yet, I wasn't going to be denied
Mm-hmm.
because the first thing I thought about was my daughter when I sat in that car.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to play her short like that. And I'm not going to play my legacy short like that, guys. So
There you go.
thank you, sir. Have fun with it.
Yeah.
And let's go.
That's a great way to end that session. And so I appreciate that, Vic. That's good. Like I said, you have those moments, where you define you and define that kind of helps you, cement, the idea of being free. And those are the type of moments where you go back and you fight adversity, you fight those no's and fight those rejections, and you stand on it, regardless of what it was. If that person never bought the person, if they never buy solo or never join you, that wasn't the sale that needed to happen anyway. The sale was that you selling yourself, that you were enough and that your business was enough, that you went back over there and stood on that. You sold yourself on it. That's the best sale of the day. So if anything, nothing else happens, that happened. And so, and guys, like I said, this is again good stuff. I wanted to make sure y'all have that segment because again, that's something that you can add to your portfolio. That's something you can give people hope with, and people who actually come in and learn the Grant Cardone stuff and the things that we be talking about on scripts and stuff like that. They can use that area to actually go out there and make some good money. All right. So real quick here, I'm trying to go through the rest of the stuff here, as fast as possible, but. It's this the next holiday, guys, is what? What's the next holiday? Anybody tell me what the next holiday is?
Valentine's Day.
Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King Day.
Okay. Anybody else? Tax season. Tax season is the next holiday. So right now, it's the beginning of the year. Everybody get ready to get their tax returns, guys. And we'll talk about this a little bit more in depth in the future, but just know this: people are looking to blow that money. Just talk to y'all about how somebody's borrowing somebody's kids, somebody's borrowing somebody's nieces and nephew to get a bigger tax refund, right? So they can go buy a new car, or some rims, or some music, or whatever it is that they're about to do. Take a trip, have a hot girl spring, or whatever it is. This is you want to make sure that you intercept those funds, right? You put them in a position where they can use those, because for years, for those of you who've been in this industry for years, you've heard this for years. Man, I really wish you would have told me before I spent the money I got back from my income tax refund check. Right? And so you want to make sure you give people those opportunities. Know this is going to happen. Let them put their money into something that's going to give them a return and give them access to information, right? And so keep that in mind with everybody you talk to going forward from now to April 15th. Again, this is tax season, okay? And so this is where you get a chance to do the best that you can do to help somebody, going forward. All right. Other thing here, real quick, is you want to make sure when it comes to the new packs, and they're going to be at the new call, at the top of the 9 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Hours. There are going to be some changes that are going to be made, and the company is going to be for the better, compensation plan wise and pack wise. As when you look at $200 for an entry to a business, that's a very, very small number. It's nothing, right? But also, it puts you in a position where you have to do more work, right, to get to your goals faster. Well, there's going to be, because we're adding some new things to the company, like we are inking a deal on, a travel company that we're bringing on board that we're going to be doing business with. We're inking a deal. We're also getting some things done on some new tech that we're bringing onto the table that I can't explain. But it is the future. It's the now and the future, but more of the future when it comes to wealth creation and subs. And then obviously Ripple, they're wrapping that up and getting the payout on the Ripple security systems and the residuals and everything like that. So what we're doing is we're adding so many different things that where now we can actually create a bigger pack. So it's going to be a $500 pack and possibly even a $9.99 pack, a $4.99 pack, and a $9.99 pack. And no, for us, I've always said I would never do a company that only had a $200 pack, right? Well, here I am, right? And so, but now, based on conversations, based on understandings, and based on where the company needs to go and where the people need to go, where you guys need to go financially, we are creating those packs, and that's going to put us in a very powerful position. Okay, because you have a 499 business model. I know people who make three, four, $500,000 a month in different companies that are in coded compensation plans that have a $500 only pack, right? But they have a $500 and $200, but that $500 pack is where they're making a fortune at. Then you have, some with codes that 500, 1,000 as well. So the value for the packs are going to be there, but it's going to now put you in a position where you have more to offer, when it comes to value wise, business wise, and it's going to put you in a position where it's going to get you to build a 500 faster, build a 1,000, 2,000 faster, build a 8,000 faster. And so I keep talking about those positions. I have talked about those positions, and those of you who paid attention to me talk about those positions, understand that I was talking about them for a reason. It wasn't just to rank advance. It was because some things are happening that we're about to talk about that I couldn't talk about, before now. And so when I'm giving you guys, information, I'm giving you guys, having a conversation with you guys, and I'm going over and beyond normal promoting, and I'm telling you guys, and I'm putting a lot of emphasis on things that, that I really suggest you guys to do with a strong suggestion. That means something is coming. That means something is about to happen. That means that those who stay in gear, stay motivated, stay producing, stay building, you're going to benefit the most. Okay, and so when we actually make this announcement and the comp plan come out and how the manufacturer revenue come out, and I'm gonna just tell you, the money is about to get extremely explosive at this point in time for those of you who are building businesses. And so I'm just telling you, get ready. Get ready. So at 11 o'clock, I know they're gonna, 11 Central, 9 a.m. Pacific, I know they're gonna go into some of those things as well. They're also going to be talking about the schedule payout, obviously, for solar and some other things, but they're going to be talking about some of these things. And those of you who have a foundation, this code is bonus when you kick it in and they increase those pack prices and give those pack options. It's going to be amazing. And I'm gonna just tell you, it's gonna also help with your subs as well, because you'll have people who will come in and now they won't the consultant won't even be a consideration. Like, they're looking at the $200, $199, $499, $999, and you're letting them know, hey, look, most people come in at the $499, which you'll see that, to be true. You'll have the majority of the people who will come in at $499. You'll have the exceptional, people who have exceptional thought process when it comes to them wanting to build something really, really big. They'll do the $999, and then you'll have people who have no money. They'll come in at the $199 based on the fact that they still want to be, in the system. They still want to be a part of something big, even though they may not be able to afford, the $499 or the $999 at the time. They'll be able to upgrade later, but you'll see a huge change. When a person start now, every time a person gets installed or enrolled, you're getting, instead of $20, you're getting $50, $100, or $150 per person, right? And then, you'll start to see different things when it comes to the coded bonuses down all the way up to $250 per enrollment. So just know that this is about to get a lot bigger, a lot faster, and Builder 500 is where it's all starting. This is where, when we talk about the kickoff, instead of doing it at Builder 1,000 or Builder 2,000, starting it off there, JC and the rest of the owners wanted to do it at Builder 500, which is, we want, again, that's why I said Builder Factory, a Builder 500 factory. You want to be a Builder 500 factory. You want to make sure that you are getting people to this position, because it's going to help you, because you're helping them. They're going to make so much money that they're going to continue to create, bring in new recruits and bring in a bigger batch of individuals. And what that's going to do is, one, it's going to help them make a lot of money, but it's also going to create the security that you need from a subscription perspective. Right. So they're going to have upfront money and residual reoccurring money. Right. Plus, you'll have a huge team of people who are bringing solar deals to the table, water deals to the table, Ripple deals to the table, and and travel and everything else that we're going to have to the table. And so making sure that you guys keep that in mind. You're just going to have a bigger, more explosive network of people. Your brokerage is about to catch fire. So let me see here. Yep. And the international situation as well. So after this, we'll jump off. But just know this: if you have an international group, by the end of January, early February, you'll be able to go international on a whole nother level and start building outside of the country. And because we already know that, business is bigger outside the US. So a lot of us have territories that we want to be in, like Africa, Mexico, or South America, Asia. A lot of these different countries out here, we have resources in and friends and family in, or associates in. That's going to help a lot of you guys again explode your business, because we have an international package that's coming where they still get a chance to have access to this suite of services that we offer here in America, so they can still do business in America, even though what we'll have for them in these different countries will be not necessarily unique or specific to them. It'll be available to them, so they can now come in business with us. So this is, again, guys, want to make sure we really pay close attention to getting better at recruiting, pay real close attention to getting better at building up your markets and building up your organizations. You want a lot of brand new people coming in. So I would definitely suggest each and every last one of you start working on your pipelines. Fill up your pipeline with people that you communicated with and people who you've talked to, letting them know that things are changing and things are evolving and that they really need to be in front of it. So with that being said, see you guys on the 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern, standard time call with the company, and the CEO and the president will be on there doing their thing. So I'll be on there for them as well. Hope to see some of you guys on there as well. But let's go out here and take this 2025, and don't just be a statistic. Go out there and be a lightning rod. Go out there and show people what you can do, in this new year coming up. So love you guys. See you guys at the top. See you guys at the bank. See you guys at the beach. And I'll see you guys at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time on the company call. Bye-bye for now.
Let me know if it asks you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank